Alright, welcome back to Make It Mental, everybody. Here's what I've learned so far. This is my very first time working with fiberglass, and it's really not as bad as I expected it to be. I have run into some issues where I thought this truck was going to be garbage. I believe I'm going to be able to recover it. It's in satisfactory condition right now. It's still not finished. As you can see, it looks pretty rough, and it is. But I want to share with you guys something that if you decide to take on a process or similar problem and you want to make your own RC car body or maybe a boat or whatever the case may be, maybe you want to make something out of fiberglass, whatever the case may be, right? So I started off with a foam mold. Basically, I did use a hood off of an old RC vehicle. That you cannot tell that anymore because the hood lines, they don't show up on the positive side. On the negative side, all the details show up, right? One thing I want to share with you guys when you're using the fiberglass is when you're dealing with tight bends, using real fiberglass, it doesn't like to bend over these tight areas right here. The other thing is using foam board, even though I took every precaution I could possibly take, I filled in all the edges with hot glue. I ran back over them again with super glue, or I started with super glue first and then hot glue, and then I even painted everything in a water-based paint. This stuff, this resin, will find a way to get in and attack the foam board. I almost lost all four fenders, the running board, part of this back area here behind the cab on both sides. The truck bed turned out wonderful. The cab, the side windows, the front window, and the hood turned out beautifully. The front piece turned out beautifully. The shiny spot here is just CA glue because I spent some time yesterday filling up the little voids because this foam was literally melting away. It was doing nothing. I mean, just literally falling down. In fact, I was having severe doubts if I'd be able to save this vehicle at all. The same was happening with the back tailgate area. I believe I didn't get this area sealed up very well. The resin found a way to get itself inside of here, but after the first coat dried, I went back through and I applied Bondo to the areas that were needing it, such as the rear tailgate. Applied Bondo in here and the same on the other side. And the bed turned out good. It's got two layers on there. You can kind of see the crisscrossing patterns there from the fiberglass. The hood, the roof I've been sanding on. The shiny spots that you will see are from CA glue building up in different areas. The CA glue was the fastest way to build that up and add a hardener, which is that white shit you see right there, which would technically be like a baking soda ground to a fine powdery mix. I need to reinforce the inside to be totally happy with it. I need to put some piece of fiberglass mat in this area. I want to put a piece that covers this window, wraps around to the bottom side here. I'm pretty much content with the outside of the vehicle, so any reinforcements I do now are going to be primarily focused to the inside. Alright, because we're really thin. This is only one layer of fiberglass. It's just slightly thicker than a piece of paper. And here's another example where it started to come loose of the fiberboard. The fiberglass does not like to bend. Without a two-piece mold, it does not like to take sharp corners and bend very well, so I've injected a bunch of CA glue and some filler, CA glue, filler, CA, and just repeated that process until it was filled up. Then I'll go back through and I'll sand it flat. I'll probably add a second layer of fiberglass in here. Again, I thought the running boards and the fenders were going to be totally lost. I had some melting issues on the side of the bed as well. Got some more cutting and some more sanding to do. But the good news is, once this body is totally done, I could technically make a vacuum or mold out of this and make a lightweight Lexan body out of this if I wanted to. It is quite heavy. It's going to be rock solid. I mean, it is going on a crawler. That was the whole intent purpose of building this, was for my crawler. So there is a look so far. Not terribly difficult. Very messy. Don't be doing this in your apartment. If you live in an apartment, I'd go outside and do it if you can do it outside, or if you have a dedicated bedroom in your apartment, You can do it there. You know, I've done working when I used to live in an apartment. I had a dedicated bedroom where I could do my hobby stuff. I just kept it very clean after everything was done, so that way the manager, you know how managers are, they like to come and give you surprise visits. So I always cleaned up my mess after everything was done. Other than that, oh, one other thing I want to share with you guys, since it doesn't like to bend around, I had another problem with it, the bed area right here. You know, I like to keep it looking like a truck. So that, as I've already mentioned, the fiberglass doesn't like to bend. So I'm going to use an old military t-shirt. This is the softest, most flexible thing I could find. I'm going to cut some small strips and lay it over here. I think it's going to droop over this stuff a lot better. And then I'm going to go back over the wheel wells one more time. And when you're doing with arches like this, and you cut yourself a little bit larger piece to lay down and across, make yourself a bunch of relief cuts like you were doing upholstery, and then bend it down, and then you can tack it to the side as well. You know, and just make a bunch of relief cuts. Make more than you think you need. The stuff is very messy, very sticky, but it's very doable with time and patience. I think it's going to end up with a nice scale realistic look once everything is said and done. I know it looks like shit right now. Again, the color you see is just from a paint transfer from the foam board, because I originally painted the whole foam board mold in that kind of a greenish color as just one more effort to try and protect it from the resin. But oh well, it is what it is. I think I'll be able to recover it and make it into a decent looking truck.